We often hear about AI's incredible speed, how it promises to accelerate everything we do. But what if, maybe in some specific cases, it actually slowed things down? Today, we're going to explore some surprising turns in the AI world and maybe challenge a few assumptions along the way. Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take a stack of the latest articles, research papers, our own notes, and we try to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge for you. Think of it as a shortcut, maybe, to being truly well informed without all the information overload.
Yeah, and today we've got a really fascinating journey lined up. We're going to explore the current shifts impacting the whole AI industry. We'll look at some genuinely unexpected applications, and then we'll dive deep into some new research on how AI tools are, or perhaps aren't, really impacting our productivity.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about OpenAI. I mean, they're pretty much synonymous with AI breakthroughs these days. They've been riding incredibly high,
Yeah,
a staggering valuation. What is it, $300 billion? And 500 million weekly users for ChatGPT. They're the most hyped AI company on Earth, basically.
that's absolutely right. But what looked like pure dominance just a few months back, say March of this year, it's rapidly turning into, well, kind of messy battle. You've got the tech giants, Google, Meta, Amazon, even Microsoft, who's their biggest backer,
Right.
right?
Right.
They're all circling like sharks, applying pressure from pretty much every angle. We've seen Meta, for instance, go kind of full NBA free agency mode. They poached 3 top OpenAI researchers.
Three. Wow. And it doesn't stop there, does it? That Windsurf deal, the acquisition, that completely collapsed. And Google apparently picked up the talent instead in this, what are they calling it? A reverse acquihire.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, there's growing tension, reportedly, between OpenAI and Microsoft. Something about a $100 billion AGI feud. And AGI, just quickly, that's artificial general intelligence. It means AI aiming for, like, human-level thinking.
Right, human-level cognitive abilities.
And their open-weight model launch. Delayed again, which gives xAI's Grok 4 a chance to gain some serious momentum. Even that Joni Ive brand collaboration seems to be stuck in legal limbo. And then Amazon's apparently making a movie portraying Sam Altman as a scheming Zuckerberg 2.0.
Right.
That's quite a pile-on.
It's quite the saga, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yet, despite all these headwinds, you have to say OpenAI is still kind of unequivocally #1 in many ways. ChatGPT is still used by 500 million people every single week. That number just blows my mind.
It's huge.
They also landed a $200 million U.S. defense contract, building battlefield-ready AI with Anduril. And get this, Mattel is launching AI-powered Barbie toys using OpenAI models.
AI Barbies.
Seriously.
Plus, there's talk of a ChatGPT-powered browser coming, which could genuinely threaten Google Chrome.
So what's this mean for Altman? He's kind of caught, isn't he? Between being the visionary leader and the hands-on business operator, he's got this like $300 billion rocket ship to steer while dodging lawsuits, keeping partners happy.
And constantly needing to ship better models than competitors like Claude or Grok. It's a lot.
So the big question is this just a temporary wobble for OpenAI? Or are we seeing a true shift in the AI landscape?
It really seems like being the leader of the pack always invites some pretty intense competition. Okay, so from that high-stakes corporate world, let's zoom out a bit. Let's look at some of the other fascinating, sometimes quirky, sometimes maybe troubling developments happening across the wider AI landscape.
Absolutely. Okay, so first up, apparently someone asked Grok, Elon Musk's AI, to create a physical representation of itself. And the image it generated, this luminous, cosmic sort of thing, went totally viral. Over 10 million views.
Wow.
It just shows how AI is, shaping completely new forms of digital art and even self-expression.
And on the Google side, Gemini subscribers can now use something called VO3. It transforms your regular photos into these AI-generated 8-second videos.
8 seconds, yeah.
Complete with dialogue, sound effects, pretty sharp 720p resolution, too. It's kind of incredible how fast these creative tools are evolving.
Yeah, it is. Though on a darker note, Meta's AI culture was actually described as a metastatic cancer. That was in a viral exit memo from one of his own researchers. Gives you a peek into the kind of cultural pressures inside these super fast-growing AI companies.
Then there's this thing we're seeing more of, Snapchat dysmorphia. It's this strange kind of worrying phenomenon where people aren't aspiring to look like celebrities anymore. Instead, they want to look like their AI-filtered selves.
Right.
I have to admit, I still wrestle sometimes with how these AI filters can shape our self-perception. It's a really complex area.
It absolutely is. And, related to maybe company culture and loyalty, Many of the missionaries, that's Sam Altman's term for top AI researchers,
Hmm.
they actually turned down these massive $100 million mercenary signing bonuses from Meta,
100 million. Wow.
choosing instead to stay at places like Anthropic and DeepMind. Tells you something about where some of the top talent feels they belong,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, that's significant. It's such a fast-moving space. And on the fundraising front, the Robinhood CEO's AI startup, Harmonic, they just raised $100 million at an $875 million valuation.
Hmm.
They're building an AI called Aristotle, and the goal is for it to solve complex math problems better than any human.
Whoa, hang on. Imagine an AI solving math problems better than any human.
Yeah.
That's a truly profound leap. That's changing the game entirely.
Right. Absolutely mind-boggling when you think about it. And just a few more quick hits here. Meta's AI glasses. They now offer audio descriptions. You just ask, and it tells you what it sees.
Handy.
There are lists going around of the 17 must-have AI skills for your resume in 2025. Shows how the job market is shifting fast. Apparently, XAI and Grok had to apologize for some horrific behavior recently. Details are a bit murky there. And finally, two models. GPT-03 and Grok 4, they've apparently quietly proved that something called neurosymbolic AI works. Now, neurosymbolic AI, in simple terms, it combines logical reasoning, like traditional AI, with pattern recognition from data, like deep learning, kind of the best of both
Right,
worlds.
blending logic and learning.
Oh, and Meta also recently acquired Play AI, a startup that specializes in generating really human-like AI voices. So, with all these new tools popping up constantly, how should people actually approach building with AI now?
Well, the trend seems to be moving beyond informal vibe coding towards more professional context engineering.
Ah, okay. That brings us perfectly to our next segment then. Decoding AI development and the tools shaping it.
Mm.
So, what's been called vibe coding, this sort of informal, maybe unsystematic way of putting AI code together, that's essentially dead, people are saying. It just doesn't scale up.
Exactly. So what's rising in its place is this idea of context engineering.
Yeah.
Think of it as the more professional framework for modern AI development. It's really about precisely designing the inputs and the conditions around the AI model to make it perform reliably and predictably.
So, being much more intentional.
Right. Intentional is a good word. We've also seen a lot of advice popping up, like articles titled 4 Tips to Take Your Vibe App Design from Zero to Pro.
Hmm.
They cover things like using proper UI components, remixing professional designs, finding good inspiration, that sort of thing. And you see lists everywhere of 7 game-changing AI tools that promise to save you, 10+ hours every single week.
Yeah, the promise is always huge time savings.
For research, presentations, design work, you name it.
And some of these newer tools are getting really specific and, frankly, quite helpful sounding. There's one called MCT PDF, converts PDF files into over 20 different formats.
Hmm.
LLM SEO trends monitors, like 2,200 live search trends with actual search volume.
Yeah.
Branthetics claims to turn your videos into viral cinematic short-form content.
Oh, ambitious.
KissPixel says it transforms ideas into stunning visuals effortlessly. And Create My Banner helps generate banners for all your social media needs. Lots of specific tools.
Okay, so these tools promise these huge time savings, 10 hours a week, whatever it is. But do they always actually deliver on that promise?
Well, funny you should ask. A recent study found some surprising, maybe even counterintuitive results on that exact question. That brings us to this really fascinating piece of research from METR. They're a nonprofit AI research group. And they took a deep look at the actual productivity of AI coding tools. We all know tools like Cursor and GitHub Copilot promise big gains, right? Auto-writing code, fixing bugs, helping with testing.
Yeah, that's the pitch.
And these tools are powered by the latest AI models from OpenAI, Google DeepMind, Anthropic, XAI. And those underlying models have improved dramatically, incredibly fast.
And that's exactly what makes this METR study so interesting. They did a randomized controlled trial, really rigorous stuff.
Yeah.
They recruited 16 experienced open source developers, people who know their stuff.
Great.
And they had them complete 246 real tasks on large, complex code repositories that these developers actually contribute to regularly. Roughly half the tasks were AI allowed, meaning they could use top-tier tools like Cursor Pro. The other half, strictly no AI allowed.
Okay, so here's the really surprising part. The developers themselves forecasted that using the AI tools would cut their completion time by about 24%.
Makes sense. That's what you'd expect.
But the study found the exact opposite, allowing AI actually increased the completion time by 19%.
Increase. So they were slower with the AI tools.
Slower, yeah. Developers are slower when using AI tooling, is the direct quote.
Wow. Okay. That is counterintuitive. Did the study suggest why that might be? Well, they point to a few potential reasons. First, only about half the developers had prior experience using Cursor specifically, even though they were trained for this study. So maybe a learning curve issue.
Could be.
They also found developers spent more time prompting the AI and then waiting for the responses instead of just diving in and coding themselves.
Ah, the interaction overhead.
Exactly. And maybe, crucially, AI tends to struggle more in those really large, complex code bases, which were precisely the kind used in this test. The context window problem, maybe.
Now, it's really important to add the nuance here. The study authors themselves are very careful. They don't draw strong, sweeping conclusions. They explicitly say they don't believe AI systems fail to speed up most software developers in general.
Okay, that's important context.
Yeah, and other large-scale studies do show productivity gains. Plus, AI progress is just so fast, they admit these results could be different in even 3 months.
True, the goalposts are always moving.
They also found that AI coding tools have actually improved recently at more complex, long-horizon tasks, so it's not all negative.
Still, this research definitely adds to the skepticism about universal, immediate gains from these tools. And it lines up with other studies we've seen showing that AI coding tools can sometimes introduce mistakes or even security vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
It's just a good reminder, isn't it? Not every shiny new tool delivers on all its promises right away, especially maybe for experienced users working on really tough problems.
So, thinking about the everyday user of AI tools, maybe not just coding, what's the biggest takeaway from research like this?
I think it's don't just assume universal gains. Critical evaluation of the tools you use for your specific tasks is still absolutely essential. Sponsor.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, the main themes that really seem to stand out are first, the intense, almost no holds barred competition happening at the very top of the AI industry.
Go ahead.
Second, just the sheer speed of innovation, these rapid fire changes that are constantly altering how we work and even how we live. And third, maybe most importantly, this critical ongoing need to actually question our assumptions about AI's true impact, especially on things like productivity.
Exactly. What's so fascinating here is that, while AI is evolving at this absolute breakneck speed, its actual integration into the real world is proving to be incredibly complex. It's full of nuances. It really requires both that genuine excitement for the possibilities, which is easy to have,
Yeah.
but also a really healthy dose of critical thinking. Always asking yourself, is this genuinely an improvement for me, or am I just kind of changing how I work to fit the tool? So maybe here's a thought to take away. Next time you find yourself using an AI tool, just pause for a second and ask yourself, is this genuinely making my process more efficient, or am I just adapting my workflow to the tool's way of doing things?
That's a great question to ponder. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. We really hope you'll continue your own exploration of these endlessly fascinating topics. Out to row music.